Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Enjoy the video. Fable was the brainchild of Lionhead Studios and the creative genius, and I put that in quotes, Peter Molyneux. It stands as one of the most cherished action RPGs of the early 2000s. Fable was released in 2004 for the original Xbox. This game just wasn't some quest-filled adventure. It was definitely a love letter to player choice, whimsical storytelling, and the power of consequence in gaming. Even years later, Fable holds a special place in the hearts of gamers, as it's dripping with nostalgia and charm and something special that can be kind of hard to describe, but if you've played the game, you know what I mean. The only thing that keeps Fable from probably being my favorite franchise of all time was its crazy fall off after the second game. Even so, nothing can really replace the memories I have with the original title, and even though I love you, Halo, Fable will always be my favorite Xbox franchise. The dev cycle of the original Halo was marked by ambition, innovation, and a level of hype rarely seen in the early 2000s gaming industry. Like I said, it was developed by Lionhead Studios under the leadership of Peter Molyneux. The game's creation was characterized by bold promises and groundbreaking ideas. These factors contributed to an extraordinary level of anticipation for Fable prior to its release, as gamers and industry experts eagerly awaited the title that promised to redefine the RPG genre. So, development on Fable began in the late 90s under the working title Project Ego. Does that say something about Peter? Maybe. From the outset, Molyneux and his team envisioned a game that would offer unprecedented levels of player agency and interactivity. The goal was to create a dynamic world that responded to the player's choices and actions, offering a personalized narrative experience unlike anything that had come before it. This ambitious vision laid the foundation for what would become Fable and served as a major selling point during the game's pre-release marketing. One of the key elements of Fable's development was its morality system. The team wanted players to feel a genuine connection to their character and to the world of Albion, where every decision carried weight. The promise of a game where good and evil actions would visibly alter the protagonist's appearance and affect how NPCs reacted to them was at the time pretty revolutionary. This system was not only a technological challenge but also a conceptual leap for RPGs, which had traditionally just offered a pretty standard linear storytelling path. Some say 1991's Streets of Rage was the first to have a morality system, but I never played it, so I wouldn't know firsthand. This and KOTOR were the first games I played that had this type of system, and to be honest, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure I played Fable first, even though it came out later, because I know for a fact I didn't play KOTOR until a couple of years after it released, when I rented it from Blockbuster, and yeah. Anyways, moving on. Lionhead Studios emphasized the dynamic and evolving nature of the game world. Early previews highlighted how players could influence Albion's towns and landscapes, acquire property, and interact with NPCs in very meaningful ways. Wink, wink. These features were designed to make the world feel alive and reactive, giving players the sense that their choices truly mattered. The idea of a world that changed over time based on the player's actions was one of the most tantalizing aspects of Fable's pre-release hype. I know that I was hyped beyond belief. Another word could be fooled, right? Because I remember reading Peter's interviews where he said things like you could plant an acorn and it'd turn into a tree later into the game or something like that. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition, but as a kid, I definitely ate that stuff up, and in the end, I didn't really care because the game fundamentally was so good and so fun and memorable. And Peter Molyneux, known for his enthusiasm and lofty promises, played a significant role in building excitement for Fable. In interviews and presentations, he described the game as a groundbreaking experience that would set new standards for interactivity and storytelling in video games. Molyneux's charisma and reputation as the creator of acclaimed titles like Populous and Black and White lent credibility to his claims, further fueling anticipation. And on the thing about Peter Molyneux, I think he's both overrated and underrated at the same time. I don't know. I feel like this guy he has great ideas and he just doesn't always know his own limits, or maybe the limits of the tools he's working with. But there's no doubt that he is a creative genius. It's just the implementation and execution that sometimes falls short. And I'm pretty sure he has a new studio now. Something cans, 99 cans, something like that. 10 cans, 9 cans, 2 cans. I don't know. I wish him all the best, man. I hope he makes a big comeback at some point in the future. Anyways, pre-release demonstrations for Fable showcased its innovative features, including real-time aging of the protagonist, the ability to customize skills and abilities, and the integration of moral choices into gameplay. I don't know about you guys, like if you were a kid or a young teenager when this game came out or pre-release, this stuff that I was reading about in these GamePro magazines, I know Xbox had their own magazine, I don't remember what it was called, but this stuff just blew my mind. I was so hyped for Fable. I'd never been as hyped for a video game at that time as I was for Fable. Now, the only games overall that I would say I was as hyped about as Fable pre-release would probably be Skyrim, Oblivion, and Red Dead 2. That's about it. Anyways, these showcases, combined with Molyneux's ambitious statements, created a sense of wonder and excitement among the gaming community. Industry publications and gaming conventions highlighted Fable as one of the most anticipated titles of its time, further and further amplifying the buzz. However, the development process wasn't without its own challenges. Lionhead faced numerous technical and logistical hurdles while attempting to implement the game's ambitious features. Some promised mechanics, such as the completely open world and more complex environmental interactions, had to be scaled back or removed entirely due to time and resource constraints. These compromises led to some criticism post-release, but they did little to dampen the pre-release excitement. The anticipation for Fable was also driven by its position as a flagship title for the Xbox console. Microsoft's support for the game, combined with its aggressive marketing campaign, positioned Fable as a must-have exclusive that showcased the potential of the Xbox hardware. This strategic backing ensured that the game remained in public throughout its development. Fable and Halo were the whole reason I bought into the Xbox ecosystem and never looked back, really. Even to this day, I mostly play my games on Xbox. I do play some on PC and some on PlayStation. So yeah, I'm definitely not a fanboy. I like all the systems genuinely, and I just kind of go where the good games gather. But Xbox will always be my home, probably for that reason, just purely on nostalgia. One of the most distinctive features of Fable was its morality system. Players could influence their character's alignment through actions, dialogue choices, and even lifestyle decisions. Good deeds, such as helping villagers or sparing enemies, would result in a glowing, angelic appearance, while evil actions like theft or murder would lead to a more sinister, demonic look. This system provided tangible feedback for moral decisions, allowing players to see the physical and social consequences of their choices in real time. Few games before Fable had implemented such a dynamic and visual representation of morality, which added an immersive layer to the whole role-playing experience, and boy was this role-playing to a T. Very fun. The game's aging and transformation mechanics were another innovative aspect. As players progressed through the game, their character would age and physically change, reflecting the passage of time and the toll of their adventures. Additionally, choices such as eating certain foods or pursuing particular skills would also alter the hero's physique. For example, consuming too much meat would result in a bulkier appearance, while investing in magic would add arcane tattoos to the character's body. These subtle yet impactful details deepen player immersion and reinforce the sense of living in a very dynamic world. Combat in Fable was also highly flexible and accessible. Players could seamlessly switch between melee, ranged, and magic combat styles, tailoring their approach to suit their preferences. The skill system allowed for further customization, letting players specialize in areas like brute strength, precision archery, or powerful spells. This level of adaptability was uncommon in RPGs at the time and contributed to the game's broad appeal. The world of Fable was filled with rich, interactive environments and vibrant NPCs. Albion, the fictional setting, encouraged exploration and engagement. Players could own property, marry NPCs, and participate in side activities like fishing or tavern games. These elements, while not central to the main quest, did give Fable a sense of depth and interactivity that many contemporary games lacked. The inclusion of dynamic townsfolk who would react differently based on the player's reputation further enhanced the immersion and personalized experience. Another revolutionary aspect of Fable was its emphasis on storytelling. While the main narrative was relatively straightforward, the game's true strength lay in the player's ability to craft their own story. Decisions made throughout the game, whether to save a village or sacrifice it for personal gain, shaped not only the outcome of the game, but also how the world of Albion perceived the hero. This player-driven narrative design was a precursor to the very open-ended storytelling seen in most modern RPGs. Maybe not most, but a lot of modern RPGs. Despite some criticism for not fully delivering on all its pre-release promises, Fable left a lasting legacy in the gaming world. It pushed the boundaries of what RPGs could achieve by focusing on player choice, character transformation, and world interactivity. The game's mechanics inspired future titles to explore similar themes, making Fable a true pioneer in the evolution of interactive storytelling. One of Fable's most endearing qualities was its enchanting music, composed by Russell Shaw with a theme by renowned composer Danny Elfman. The score perfectly captures the whimsy and the charm of Albion, blending playful melodies with sweeping, magical undertones. Whether you're wandering through the serene countryside or facing down a terrifying foe, the music always enhances every moment, immersing you in this fairy tale-like atmosphere. It's the kind of soundtrack that sticks with you long after you've set down the controller, or if you did forget the soundtrack, as soon as you put it on, I promise you, you will be transported right back to the very beginning when you first popped this game in. And I never know when to put in these music appreciation sections, so I just kind of stick it in wherever. So there's that. Now, I want to talk about the actual world of Albion. Albion is the setting of Fable, and it isn't just another fantasy world. It's a place brimming with charm, humor, and a sense of wonder that sets it apart from the usual swords and sorcery landscapes. From its quirky residents to its ancient ruins filled with secrets, Albion feels like a living, breathing land full of history, mystery, and plenty of whimsy. What makes Albion special is its personality. Every corner of the world seems to have a story to tell, whether it's through the locals in the bustling streets of Bowerstone or the eerie quiet of Darkwood. Unlike other fantasy settings that take themselves very seriously, and there's nothing wrong with that, Albion doesn't shy away from being a little silly and a little self-aware. Its humor is baked into every aspect of the world, from the cheeky comments of the townsfolk to the oddball side quests that often poke fun at traditional fantasy tropes. Albion doesn't just give you a place to explore, it gives you a place to really experience. You might stumble across a demon door demanding you do something ridiculous to open it, or find yourself involved in a village feud that escalates in the most unexpected ways. These moments make Albion feel alive and uniquely Albion, a world where the unexpected is the norm. And there isn't another fantasy world that will feel quite like Albion. It is very unique in that sense. One of its defining features is how much it feels like a land with a long, colorful history. The ruins scattered across the world aren't just there for decoration. They hint at lost civilizations and great heroes of the past. The Heroes Guild, where your journey begins, is a central piece of Albion's lore. It's more than just a training ground, it is a symbol of the world's reliance on extraordinary people to shape its fate. Magic is also everywhere in Albion, but it's not your typical just fireball and lightning kind of magic. In Fable, at least to me, magic feels very old and mysterious and kind of like tied to the land itself. This is most evident in the demon doors, massive ancient faces carved into stone that guard these hidden treasures. To open them, you often have to solve riddles or perform specific actions, adding a playful and very much fairy tale-like element to the game. The people of Albion are just as much part of its magic as the landscapes and lore themselves. Not just NPCs, they're definitely characters in their own right, with quirky behaviors, funny accents, and a whole lot of personality. They'll cheer for you if you're a hero or run away screaming if you turn into a villain. They gossip, they react to your actions, and they bring a layer of humor and heart that makes the world feel alive. Even the way they interact with the player emphasizes Albion's unique tone. You can become a revered hero, a feared villain, or just someone who dances around in the middle of the marketplace for laughs. Albion doesn't ask that you take it seriously, it just wants you to have fun and be a part of its story. What really makes Albion stand out is how it changes based on your actions. As your hero grows and makes decisions, the world shifts in response. Villages thrive or crumble, people's attitudes change, and even your character's appearance reflects the kind of person you've become. This dynamic connection between the player and the world creates a sense of investment. You're not just passing through Albion, you are shaping its future. This evolving world isn't just about big dramatic changes, it's also in the little things. Your reputation precedes you, people comment on your deeds or misdeeds, and the world adapts to the role you play. It's these small personal touches that make Albion feel like a whimsical storybook brought to life, one where you are the main character. Albion isn't just another fantasy setting, it's a world with a big heart and a playful soul. Its humor, history, and sense of magic make it a place you want to explore just for the joy of seeing what quirky things you'll find next. Whether you're trading insults with villagers, uncovering ancient secrets, or just wandering through its beautiful landscapes, Albion feels like a unique mix of the familiar and the unexpected. Fable's Albion stood out by being whimsical, quirky, and full of life. It's a world that doesn't take itself too seriously and invites you to do the same. That's why Albion is so special. It's not just a place you visit, it is a place that you remember. Now I kind of want to move on to the release and reception. When Fable finally hit stores in 2004, it was met with both excitement and some tempered expectations. The marketing hype, fueled by Molyneux's lofty promises, set the bar sky high. While not every feature was present, sorry, Acorn enthusiasts, Fable did deliver where it counted. Critics praised the game's whimsical aesthetic, compelling narrative, and innovative morality system. The humor, often dry and distinctly British, gave Fable a very unique identity. The world of Albion felt alive with its bustling villages, creepy forests, and cheeky NPCs who reacted to your deeds. Whether you were a halo-wearing hero or a menacing anti-hero with glowing red eyes, Albion responded accordingly. FYI, I've never played a game, including Fable, that had a morality system where I chose to be a bad guy. Trust me, I've tried and I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. The times that I did try to, and I'm specifically remembering Mass Effect when I tried to do a Renegade playthrough, I had to delete my file like 5 hours into it and start over and just be a good little guy. I don't know why, but something about being mean in video games just rubs me the wrong way. Maybe if you guys want to see it, maybe I'll do an evil playthrough of Fable. I don't know. Oh, I don't even like saying it. Anyways, players also fell in love with this game. The ability to buy houses, marry, and even raise children added layers of immersion that were kind of rare in games of that era. Fable may not have been this sprawling sandbox that some people imagined, myself included, but it definitely was a meticulously crafted experience that encouraged replayability and exploration. Fable's success spawned an entire franchise with sequels and spin-offs that tried to build on the original's magic. Fable 2, released on the 360, refined many of the mechanics and expanded the story, and Fable 3, though divisive, continued to explore themes of power and responsibility. Beyond its own series, Fable's impact on gaming is undeniable. It was one of the early pioneers of moral choice systems, a feature that would go on to influence countless games from Mass Effect to The Witcher. Its blend of humor, heart, and player-driven storytelling proved that games could balance whimsy with meaningful choices. Ask any gamer who played Fable during its heyday, and I bet their eyes will likely light up with nostalgia. Maybe they remember the thrill of earning their first hero title in the guild, or perhaps they recall spending hours fishing, boasting to villagers, or unlocking demon doors. For many, it wasn't just a game, it was a world they lived in. I know that I woke up every day during the summer, just like my hero, to do all my daily wood chopping and to get that sweet, sweet gold, or I collected rent, or I just wanted to explore that day. I was fully and totally invested in Albion. The world felt totally and completely unique, and at the same time very familiar. Fable's charm lay in its imperfections as much as its innovations. It invited players to embrace the fantastical, laugh at its quirks, and to create their own stories within the tapestry of Albion. While the franchise's later entries and the eventual closure of Lionhead Studios left fans longing for more, the announcement of a reboot has ignited hope. I will say I'm a little skeptical about the new Fable game. I'm definitely not mad at anybody who is excited about it. I hope Playground can pull it off, really. Fable is an amazing franchise and it needs to stay in gaming. I just don't trust a lot of AAA studios nowadays. That's Sony, Microsoft. Nintendo does their own thing and they're pretty good at it. But when it comes to the big corporation, because I feel like Microsoft and Sony are like corporations, if that makes sense. I don't trust them. Anyways, so I'll just wait and see how that looks. I'm not sure as hell ain't pre-ordering it, but if anybody has a good chance, it is Playground. I think that's Xbox's most talented studio, but who knows? But anyways, when I look back on Fable, it's pretty clear why it remains so special. It wasn't just about slaying monsters or leveling up. It was about the actual joy of adventuring and exploring, the weight of choice, and the silly situations we found ourselves in, or even put ourselves in. We were all set loose in this, new but familiar world, free to paint our own story into the world of Albion and Fable. Albion may have been a fictional land, but for those who played it, it definitely felt like a home away from home. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And let me know some memories of yours with Fable. I had the Fable Brady Guides game. I remember it clear as day. Played the shit out of this game. I hope the new Fable is great. We'll see. What do you guys think about the new Fable? Are you excited? Are you kind of lukewarm on it? Do you not care at all? Damn, I hope it's good. I think a Fable is good for the gaming industry. We'll see if they can pull it off, but you know what? I'm just glad that Fable's not dead, and we'll see how it goes. Anyways, thank you again for watching, and God bless.